For example, if your husband cheats right now, it's okay, that's how life is, and you don't see anything wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with it, and there's also something wrong with it.
To love and still cheat means you're not loving or not loving enough.
As long as I'm at peace with myself. If you want to have 10 different women out there, bye-bye. Welcome to Tranquil Dialogue, where peaceful, candid, and entertaining conversations take place in a safe space. I'm Jen.
I'm Ethel.
And Tranquil Dialogue is all about authenticity. And I'll give my co-host Ethel the honor to introduce our guests.
Welcome you both to Tranquil Dialogue. It's such an honor to have you both sitting here with us today. These are our incredible guests, and this is Leah, aka the Village Girl. You hear more about why she's called the Village Girl later. And this is Mr. Umba, and he is an elder in the community, and he's here to talk to us about things happening in the community and representing the community. Thank you both so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Ethel.
You're welcome.
Yes, and when we talk about things in the community, today we're talking about infidelity. We're getting to hear from a man's perspective and a female's perspective. What counts as cheating?
Cheating is when you are in a relationship, maybe you're married or you have a boyfriend, you have a spouse, you know, and then out of all that relationship and faithfulness, something pops up. And it can be through, you know, just a normal text. It can be you went out to the shop and somebody talks to you. And I would phrase it as flirting. Maybe somebody says, you're beautiful, I want to take you out. Or can you give me your number? And then you say, yes, sure. But in your head, you're like, oh, I'm married, but still you are doing this.
Entertain it.
I'm just gonna entertain it. So for me, that's cheating. If you allow that to happen, I would call it cheating.
Okay. From our elder.
Yes, cheating is a term for someone who is giving outside to what he should give to his partner or their partner.
Are you able to elaborate more?
Okay. Now that question, the second verse will be, what do partners expect to give to each other? That is where I said it's very big. There are so many things we can give, but it means you're giving yourself your time. It means being there for that person, being for only that person. And it can mean emotional, can be psychological, it can mean social, it can mean physical, it can mean everything in the package of relationship. Everything you need to give that person to make them feel you are theirs and only theirs. Those are the things that is what you owe your partner to give.
Is it possible for two people to claim they love each other, but still one of them steps outside of their relationship and cheat, yet they still claim we love each other?
Now you're asking me, what is love in a relationship?
Yes.
Love is affection. Love is care. Love is understanding. Love is giving. Love is, it overarches every this other thing that you should give to your partner. It's a feelings, emotion of wanting to be there, to do, go out of your way to give. In your question, if you're not doing these things, or if you are cheating, it might mean you cannot do these things. So in a way, to love and still cheat means you're not loving or not loving enough.
Could it be you're not doing it enough, or you're not receiving it enough, hence why you want to step out?
Thank you, that's a good question. You may not give love enough or receiving enough. And that is leading to why we're here, what I believe can be some of the strong cause of infidelity. Yes. Some work have been done about infidelity before now. It didn't start today. We only came as kids and met it. And it means there is a very big challenge in our society and it hasn't been solved. And I always tell people, if something has a name, that means there has been a research on it.
Yeah.
And means that there has been a consigning in our society to address that. So based on that, I'm going to give you some ideas of theoretical ideas what people have looked at and looked at different areas of the causes of cheating or what it might look like. First of all, here it talks about number one, it says the evolutionary theory. It talks about that from an evolutionary psychology perspective, infidelity is explained as a reproductive strategy. What it means that men may engage in infidelity to increase chances of spreading their gene. This might have element of historical culture and all that.
Isn't that polygamy now?
And another one it says women may engage in infidelity to secure better resources. Example, genetic quality for offspring is an example. That is other thing. Then it said, but you can criticize this element of a critic of cheating. You know, it's saying that it can oversimplify human relationship and ignoring emotion, culture, and social context. That is what a critic on this. Then another one is attachment theory. Looked at it as well. It says people with insecure attachment style, example, anxious and avoidant, may be more prone to infidelity. It says anxious individual may seek reassurance outside relationship. Another one is the social exchange theory. It's talked about that infidelity may occur if individual perceive greater reward, example, emotional, sexual, or financial, from an outside partner compared to their primary relationship. And it's about balancing cost versus benefit of staying faithful. Critique is it can reduce relationship to transaction and overlook emotional depth. The last one is psychodynamic theory. It says infidelity may represent unconscious conflict. I love this one. I will come a lot of psychology when I talk about this because that is, I enjoy behavior. I enjoy understanding why we are the way we are and how we behave, why we behave. He said, for instance, fidelity can be a form of acting out of unresolved parental attachment or rebellion. And it says, therapeutic focus will be explore unconscious motivation and unresolved childhood experience. This is a very big one because what it means sometimes is that we all are who we have been exposed to, either papa or mama, or environment, that uncle, that leader, that person you watch on the TV that you admire. Those things are what shape who we are and what we believe. Infidelity is viewed in the context of relationship system. Example, it may signal breakdown in communication, intimacy, or shared meaning. And focus shift from who is to blame to what is happening in the relationship. So you move from who is to blame to what has happened. Why? How did we get here? For example, that. So then cultural is the one we as African will talk about a lot. And an example of cultural here, it says, it's a cultural and feminist perspective. I am here the only man apart from the crew who is now talking about infidelity. It says something.
That's huge, because we don't get men in a lot.
Why will I be talking about that? I did chatted Leah about people who make law are people in power. And nobody will make law say, now I want me to be used as a sacrifice for the community. I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that is real. So power is a big thing in how we see and what happens in our society. So, but here from this, which is number 6, explanation, infidelity is shaped by cultural norms, gender expectation, and social construct. Patriarchal system may normalize male infidelity while punish women. Example, I'm Odebu, I'm a Igbo. I can marry 7 or 10 if I chose to, and it's acceptable. So how can you tell me infidelity? What is that? Another one is feminist theory highlight power inequality, which is why I'm sitting here as well. And unfortunately, you introduced me to represent the men, but it's actually unfair on men because I am a very dark person who think there is a problem, and we can fix it if we come from men. I'm sorry, this is an apological man, gentlemen. So yeah, I wanted to give a summary to what we are about to talk. But all my talking will be coming a little bit of this, and also as a person who is in this society and older at least.
Thank you so much for that. Why do you think people step out of their matrimonial relationships or beds or whatever and go outside to look for another person and cheat?
I'm going to give instances. One of them is lack of commitment, lack of need, individual need. For example, if I'm married, by the way, as you can see, For example,
That doesn't mean anything.
it does mean, I want to give example as
But
marriage.
in your case,
Yes,
yeah, it
yes.
does. That's why you're making it
Well, I'm
obvious,
just giving a general
but-
example, not in my personal, but I'm just saying, actually that was a side humor, but you didn't catch it, but it's okay. But what I'm saying there is that if my wife is not providing me the necessary or adequate need I deserve as a person in relationship, this is a very hypothesis, I'm going to give you an example. And I may decide to manage it anyway. We are married already. Life is like that. Sometimes you win, you lose. But it means I might be vulnerable somehow if I see someone casually, who without even realizing or intentionally give me that emotional support I might require. I did say time and time, women do not understand that men need pampering, need love too, need care, need some of those things you think. All of us, if you look us directly in our eyes, whether man or woman, you will see the 8-year-old person of that person. If you cannot make your partner feel that 8-year-old person, there is need for that. So I'm giving myself as a man using this analogy. The other way around, if I am not providing that support to my wife, she's lacking them, either emotional, either psychological, either physical, sexual, whatever is that is in the package of a relationship that she's not getting. She might not need or mean to cheat. But if you find someone, I give you an example. If I don't see my wife how she look and how she feel, and somebody outside, elsewhere, at work, wherever said, you're actually looking gorgeous, it might mean no harm. But that woman is lacking that, and it's been lacking that. That will draw her attention to, oh, I actually look good. Somebody actually noticed me.
Let's say I'm your wife.
Yes.
I see you, I hear you, I do every single thing that either you need me to do or that I feel you need to meet your sexual needs or physical, whatever it may be. But then you still go out there and step out on me. And that happens a lot in a lot of homes, African or non-African. So why is that? You have those 3 C's, I've given you those 3 C's the best I could possibly can, because I think one of the earlier episodes that we talked about was, as women, we're groomed to cater to the men. Like, that's our job from when you're born, even before you're born. So why does that still happen? Because in a lot of cases, no married person wants a broken home. So why does this still happen, no matter how much sometimes we both could give?
That question, now you're saying, if one of these 8 field of study about infidelity, that one I've given you should have been enough, and why is this still happening? No, I've just given you one. I've given you psychology and social, maybe some area on that area. Then we have not talked about psychodynamics. We haven't talked about who we are, where we are coming from. We haven't talked about social context, cultural.
Sometimes not really about me or your partner not giving you enough.
Thank you. It can be where you have been.
Just you, and yeah.
It can be where you have been. It can be that no, this can't be real. She can't be this good. It can even be because that this person, this woman, I have the right to marry more. So I'm actually doing you a favor by marrying only you. It could be those things. Until we challenge those things. And remember, we said that who you are is who you know, where you have been. If my father, my mother have been always that, never be good. Well, actually, it's actually my personal experience. My mother was never good to my father. My father married 2 wives. And what it means is that they all try every day to make my father happy. But then again, where have my father been that he wouldn't see one? My grandfather married 7 wives. 7 wives. So how can he marry 2 and anybody complain? Do you want to hear the biggest of it? We are very poor that we have only 2 rooms. And what these 2 rooms
with
means,
the 3 adults, father and 2 wives.
Yes.
Okay.
And children.
and 12 children.
12.
Yes. And there is
So 15 people in 2 rooms.
and 2 beds in that whole house. So the bigger one is where my father and whoever that is providing him food or closer support in the period. So it will be food, shower together, and sleep together. So whoever is doing that, sleep with my dad in the bedroom and the bigger bed. And whoever is not will sleep in the room, in the sitting room. And we are all adults. You know that another woman is with your husband. Even me, up to 12 and 13, I can tell you now that I know what my father and my mother do in the room. And imagine my mother or my stepmom in another room listening to her husband with another woman. So these are, and if I can't even ask my father, why did you do that? I'll be stupid because I know where he's coming from. But if I want to address that, I can have a conversation with my father, and I said, nah, I don't want to do this. This is not good. Remember, again, I'm not trying to be all over the place. What you have been exposed to most times will either make you do the same thing, or luckily or blessed, or something will happen along the line of psychology will make you say, no, I don't like this, I won't do it. You understand? But depends on who you indulged. If you indulge your father, that means you take your father's line. If you indulge your mother saying that this woman suffered, you might follow. So, but I don't want to bore you on that. So these are the things that if you ask me, if this 3C happened, why else? No, we haven't talked about 7 other observations and on things. And I'm happy to talk about behavior rather than talking about infidelity and talking about pointing finger at one person or another. I like to talk about why we are the way we are. I think it will help us. So that if somebody is standing to make that decision, we'll realize that 1, it hurts your partner. 2, something might be happening inside of me, in my brain, that I don't know. You understand? And this thing can help you maybe either minimize or maybe mitigate. So yeah.
You know, we have to accept that it's natural. For me, I say it's natural for men to cheat.
Why do you think
in
that?
the society, I'll get into that. In the society, we take like women, we are very fragile, we are very delicate, and men are the powerful in the society, you know. And if a man cheat, is okay. But if a woman cheat, that's disgusting, it's really wrong. And what I normally tell people, apart from love, what makes you be with this man? And I can love my man can also love me, but still cheat out there. Is it possible for somebody to be in love, but at the same time go out and cheat? Yes, it's possible, 100%. The fact that you cook for me every day, you clean my clothes every day, doesn't mean that you won't cheat out there. And what makes me say that it's natural for men to cheat, that's how we grew up. We grew up knowing that it's okay for my father to have 10 different wives. It's okay.
Why do you say so?
That's how we were brought up. And if I say that's how we were brought up, it's culture. It's the way of life. I see it mostly in the African culture, not the Western world, but in the African culture, whereby I will have my kids, I will get married to a man, I will persevere all the hardship, all the domestic violence, just because I have kids with this man, not because I really love him. I don't love him. The love finished long time ago. But because of my children and the disgrace within the society, they will say, oh, we told you. They will break up, they will get divorced. Because I hate to hear that from the people I love, I will stick in this kind of relationship.
Just to keep a faith.
Yes, so it's not because I can be there for my kids. I get what I want outside, I come back in my house for the sake of my kids.
So you think personally it's okay to cheat? Like you think every man is going to cheat anyway, so if you want to do it, that's okay?
It doesn't matter what you will do to a man. And it also happened to women. There are certain type of women where they act like men. They really have that leadership skills in them. So it doesn't matter if you buy me Lamborghini, you build me a big house. If I decide that I don't really want to be with you, I will go out there and find my favorite girl. I will just sleep with them. And it's okay. The society have normalized it. It's something which is okay.
Can I ask you, do you think such kind of things are happening in our society now?
A lot every day. A lot, and every day, every single time. Yeah. And because nobody is speaking about it, we find it, as I said before, we have normalized it. It's something which is okay. And I was even talking to some of my friends back home. They were just sort of giving ideas and advice of how to, you know, keep your marriage going. they have come up with this idea that it doesn't matter if our men cheat. We will stick there, we will stay there, we will have fun outside and still come back to our marriages.
What do you think that means to the children?
For me, I would say it's pathetic, because as children, as young girls and boys, we need to see examples from the people we are living around. If my dad comes in the house, there's no hug, you know, everybody's going their own way. I just put the food there for my husband, go back to sleep. The kids will learn from that. They will not speak at that stage, but they will learn. And that's how it will be generational.
Have you ever been married before?
Yes.
Beautiful. So for you, for example, if your husband cheats right now, it's okay, that's how life is, and you don't see anything wrong with that?
I will be both sides. There's nothing wrong with it, and there's also something wrong with it. We live around people who know us, like aunties, uncles, and they have this type of expectation towards us or upon us.
What expectation? What do you mean?
That you should look after your marriage, look after your man. And I remember our aunties would say, can you see my life? I've been with your uncle or your dad for maybe 30 years. Do you see how he beats me? Do you see how he sleeps around with men? Did you see me live? No, I'm still there.
Is he buying you food? Is he buying you this? Is he providing? They forget about the emotional part of it. They forget about the psychological part, what it does to somebody's self-esteem. So there's a lot of things that happens with cheating, right?
And for me, Jennifer, what I would say, as long as I'm at peace with myself, if you want to have 10 different women out there, bye-bye, go. Go. I will look after the children, all right? Just don't expect much from me. But if you choose that this is the life you want to live, this is the road you want to take, go for it.
But you still be there for him when he needs you, or if, yeah?
Of course.
Hey, but what's your take on that?
Which is something we don't really pay attention to. But
Yeah.
you know, like I said, most of the things that happen to us, for us to start fixing them is to understand the impact. So this is an example of an impact. Like a village woman, is that yes? Yeah. Jennifer asked if she still provides for that person, and say yes. If you ask me, correct me, the provision will be a physical provision. And it doesn't come from love, or it will slowly, especially if you know this is wrong and you've been accommodating it. There's a difference between out of ignorance, I don't know that I've been oppressed.
At this rate, I need a Bible next to me.
Why?
I need a Bible next to me.
Actually, very important. We go to Bible. That is something I'll talk about with Bible as well. Yeah, I was going to do that on my life. But you see that something is lacking. And remember, this conversation is saying that there is a problem. That's why we're here today. Things has fallen apart, and the center is on hold or cannot be held. This is a damage control. Is not how relationships are supposed to be.
Coping, yeah.
You understand? So there is something already happened. The deed, the danger, the bad has happened already. We are now going to count. We're counting our loss. My mother, at the time in the relationship, in my father's relationship, we actually called her and advised her to leave the relationship. And the oldest person would have been my elder brother, who would have been 14, and that means I was 11. But for us kids to start planning, thinking about this woman, we tell you, we have seen, even though we don't know what marriage looks like, but we've seen whatever it is, morally as human beings, this person cry more and this person is loving more, enjoying more. You understand? So sorry. I'll come back. I'll come there. I just wanted to highlight, actually, what I observed there is when Leah said that men will always cheat. I wanted to say something there, even though sometimes trying to defend my fellow men. But I remember one time it was a DV week, and I put something on my group. I did actually 1 week of of DV, and a very close family person in this community, a very member of my community, contacted me and said, I've been talking about men against women. It's very unfair to people who actually going through pain from their wife. I felt really ashamed of myself. And this is true, it happens. There are men who die. But then that is a product of thing wrong has already been happened. Like you said, these kids are exposed to this, they see this. And I did mention earlier before that sometimes it depends on the case interpretation of who is right. And most times men will want to be like their, in Igbo, that is what we call Omekanaya, means you behave like your father. Every child wants to behave like his father. But imagine if somebody escaped, or a product of a already damaged relationship have learned to be stronger woman, and marry, the man go hear them. If a woman escape or survive a DV or abused family, and seeing his mom and does believe his mom was abused, that woman is going to any man with. And what that means is that that man might be innocent. He might be a man from a very decent home and raised very well. That man will hear it. So now you see the problem is now intergenerationalizing, and then innocent people are coping this. So it means that men also suffer this. And this is where that woman will believe that if you don't give men hard hand, they will do it to you. So there is survivor of the fittest here.
Let me just cut you short. I don't believe men suffer that. At any point, I don't believe that.
Okay, I have seen a lot of
because
them. Yeah.
If you don't want to get married, don't do it. Because marriage should be holy. That's what I view it. Marriage should be a holy place where there's no cheating, there's no, indulging yourself in other stuff. I advise young men in the society, in the community, who are also my friend, there's no point of getting somebody's daughter, getting married to them, and then on the side, you go out and start sleeping with single mothers. It's not right. So it's rather, don't get married and just keep sleeping around with those single mothers and leave this other woman alone. Because you are the one promoting bad habits in marriage. Just stay single, don't get married.
That is deviating from what I observe. I will come to that. But do you understand when I said that a woman can also hurt men? Research even have it as well. It's just that women have more percentage of abuse. Does not mean it doesn't happen to women. If my sister, for example, using my narrative analogy, right, have come out to say, oh my God, I will never let any man do to me what, by the way, my father is innocent and still love him. He's just an ignorant, going by all the stages I've told you. But I will never let this thing happen to me. It means if I'm coming in, I'm going to... Do you even think that person will know what true love is in a marriage? Do you think that person will know what love is? He wouldn't even know what it is, because we learn them as we go. So that woman, if you tell him, babe, let us talk like husband and wife, he's like, no, you want me to go down. So according to psychodynamics, there is a trauma of what has happened that keeps surfacing. That is where schema is one of the people who have invented the idea of trauma appearing in our life even when we grow. So when you say, baby, I love you, in his mind, baby, I want to kill you, that's the whisper, that's the echo she hears. You understand? So she probably only married to have kids, like mom lived and stayed for marriage. We should not ignore this. So it means that any man that met this kind of woman is in trouble. And it's not the woman's problem. I was narrating how trauma and history shape everything we do today. Somebody asked me, then whose fault is it? I jovially and jokingly said, maybe let's blame Adam. But I was only joking. But he's saying that maybe there is a limitation on blaming somebody than the action itself. Bex, people with cognitive therapy actually that's why they focus on how you're feeling at the moment rather than what has happened. But these are different views. But I love the part that what has happened shape what we are today, or who we are today and doing today. Thank you.
Oh, yeah. You said something. By you staying in that marriage, knowing clearly that your husband or boyfriend is running around, community husband, community boyfriend, and you're okay with that, don't you think that might be trauma bond?
Cheating is a choice. There's nothing that a woman will do or a man will do that will say, oh, she didn't give me sex, that's why I'm cheating. She didn't treat me this way, that's why I'm cheating. If I choose to stay in a relationship whereby my man is cheating, that's also a choice. And even if I decide to leave my man and go out there to find a different man, they are all the same, Jennifer. There's no,
You're convinced.
I am 100% convinced they are all the same, because what I believe in, work on your own. Work on this marriage. If you can't work out on it, You will go outside there, you'll find the same man in a different suit.
What if there's DV, domestic violence
That's
involved,
when I would run.
abused, emotional abuse, all involved?
I will never leave my man because he's cheating, but I will leave him when he starts beating me.
So would you say it all depends then on what they do and how it happens, so it can be justified? If it happens once, it's okay, like you say, or it doesn't really matter?
It doesn't matter, and domestic violence, cheating, none of them can be justified. None. But if a man, when I said before cheating is natural, I meant it. That's why our parents, our grandparents, they are polygamous. For me personally, I believe in it. I believe in a polygamous family. And if my man decides that, oh, today I don't want to sleep with Leah, I'll go to Rachel, that's okay. I'll see you tomorrow morning, but I will look after my children. The moment you start beating me, the moment you start ignoring us in the house, that's when it's affecting me emotionally. But when it's come to cheating, I make peace with it.
Where the problem stands is how it affects another. That's where I like criminal code or criminal act. It's always a crime when it hurts another person. You understand? You can't be charged for taking your life. You understand? I believe, correct me if any lawyer is here. So it's a problem when it's affecting another person. And but then again, we can look at it, when I always talk about behavioral context. If we look at it in a behavioral context, this mentality or this understanding, how does it promote our society? So now, for example, if you live like this with a man, and we remember we believe that we are the place and people we're supposed to, and your children have seen this. No matter how you do, they're gonna see you. They'll see you that you don't know you as beaten. Kids are very smart on that. That means any girl from this lineage is gonna do the same. A man from this lineage, we're gonna know that men are allowed to cheat. Now it makes us to introspect. How do we correct this problem? And this, I think, that's what it's come to. Why we're here, or why I am here, I don't know. Then another thing I want to talk about as well is, in your context, the only abuse you recognize is physical abuse. But science have talked about other abuse that even can be more dangerous than physical abuse. If you're being zeroed to nothing, you can be an embodiment of emptiness, because this is what controls this whole body. If you have made to look like this and be nothing, you're going to raise kids that will not have that self-esteem and the necessary resources to strive according to in terms of developmental. And that is another cycle, because that young woman will grow up and not knowing what is right, and they walk into another man, and that generational will continue. So I guess if we go by transformational understanding of life, evolving and correcting and living, it will be, how can we have a decent relationship where everybody will be happy, nobody will hurt another? I guess that's why we're here. And that will mean,
so how can we do that? Can you start us off?
I didn't tell you that I'm a doctor, did I?
Hey, you don't have to be. Again, you're a social worker, you've seen things, you've been in the community.
If a man or a woman provide every of those things that we've talked about that are necessary need in relationship, that the person still have the energy and time to give it to another people or another person? And I don't know who I said, if a man can do that, a woman can do that, provide love, emotion, psychological support, all the support that necessary in relationship, and still have energy, and including sex. Okay, was it you? I said including sex. Maybe a man can give his wife, or a woman can give the husband maybe 5 times a week, let's say, and still have enough to give another person. That person, we need to interview that person and get his brain and put it in the computer and understand, because this is different. So what he's saying is that if you are able to commit everything needed in relationship, it's evident that things are going well. So I know when you said, what if a woman is giving everything or a man is giving everything and they're still cheating? No, not giving everything. In this theory means there is things are still lacking.
But in this case, not necessarily because of the other person. Could be because of you as a person.
That is another psychology. Remember, no answer is correct, absolute correct, or truth. Every answer have another, variables. So, but I am thinking that if a man spends his time in, I'm talking about a normal day, like, oh, my wife will be asking how I'm going here, and let me message her, and they say, oh my God, I like what you wore this morning, and those conversations, foreplay, kind of happen every day in the morning. That man may not have time to cheat. I am saying. It means that it means, but what it means. But, well, I am saying a world that many people have not seen. I may not have not seen that, or I have seen that, or very few people have seen that. But what I'm saying is that if you engage in what you do, your business, your life, your experience at work with your partner, people do that. You see that movie, like, honey, this guy came again and think he can control me. I told him no. He said, yes, yes, honey, I know. I told you. Thank you. I'm proud of you. This conversation happened. There are people that have this conversation with their partner. That is connection. You have that connection, and you're ready. This woman is already waiting, can't wait to get the kids ready and hide them away. So you come in and they do their romance, and this happens almost every day. Look at it technically, or look at it scientifically. Where is the time to cheat?
I would advise anyone who doesn't understand what I'm saying to be friends with single mothers. Wherever you are, it doesn't matter. US, Africa, it doesn't matter. Be friends with single mothers. It takes only 5 seconds, not 5 seconds, 5 minutes to have good sex. From the time you are texting to the time you are saying, baby, I love you, to, oh, I'm back to work, I will call you later. That's enough for you to drive to somebody's house and have
Now,
sex.
let's come back to our hypothesis now. So you give that quickie, and as a man, you have released, right? You come back home and still formulate something to give to your woman. I'm saying this is a genius. I'm not saying it's not.
But it happens often, though, where men are sleeping out and still.
We are not being realistic here. I am telling you that what I'm saying is that it is only a man with mental health problem who sleep with 3 girls in one day. That person needs to be checked. That's what I'm saying. But a man who, see, the best, what is lacking in relationship between man and woman, or either from man or woman, or from woman or man, is lack of time to one another. What I'm saying you is that in a good world we are seeing is a one that I know where my husband is and I'm going to see him. I know where my wife is, I'm going to see. And that if that is a reality, that in a reality world, which is, this is very hard, I'm telling you, but I'm just trying us to dream what it might look like, what a good relationship might look like. That if this eventually ever happened, that I will tell that woman, I will tell that man, be in that relationship. That is what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to explain here. Whether or not both of them are still doing something, I say we should bring them here. These are people we are looking for. How can you be a good husband and a good wife? Because that is a good husband and a good wife. How can you be a good husband and a good wife and still do this magic? Because cheating and lack of all these things I've mentioned, or cheating and all the rest of it, is lack of care, lack of love, lack of commitment. That's what you asked me in the first. What is relationship? Or what is cheating? I said lack of, in the absence of those things I mentioned. If you are getting them every day, then we need to interview those people. I need to learn from them.
Before, if I could just ask, was it your grandfather who had 12 wives? Or?
7.
7. So you said a man who can sleep around with more than one wife has a mental problem.
More than one wife?
Yeah.
In one day.
They can.
No, can continually sleep with 3. I've seen that. People can go to holiday and do that. But that is a staged. Did you know what I mean by a normal life for 20 years, 30 years?
Well, 7 wives, you do have them at your disposal.
And do you know, there are a lot of things I will just let go because there's no time. But 7 wives means you might not, there is one of them you might not sleep in whole year. And that is why some people marry many, because men in their cycle talk about why polygamy is good. It means all of them will want you and you make a choice. So one who thinks she's a strong woman, carry your thing, go and day with your day, my day. And that is why they will refresh. They say they're changing blood. They will marry younger, more beautiful, and the older, and the first one will suffer. So at a time, why would you be eating a goosey soup you cooked since last week when you have a fresh fufu and afang soup in front of you? It's a natural thing. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but it's a natural thing. So it means that in the 7 wife, one might be the malnutrition of sex. And maybe at the time they get used to it. And they will have children who will see them, knowing that. That's what I'm saying. That intergeneration is what I want us to look at, where we might be diving into. So how do we
transition from that? Maybe for some people, they don't believe it needs to be changed.
That is something I thought about time and time. I said, maybe during that relationship, courtship, how do we capture deep, how can we see the whole of the person within 6 months or 1 year or whatever long time you are dating this person and thinking if we want to be, how can you be able to do that? Many men, many women don't know how to see this. We see outer layer when we are choosing women, sometimes beauty, sometimes don't even know what you're looking for. I always give this analogy. If you want to go to run the mall to buy shop, and you don't know what you're going there to shop, you might shop 10 things and come back home and see that things you need, you didn't buy them. Hey. You understand? So what it means is that if you can know what you're going to shop, after shopping them 3 items, for example, you can decide to do your browsing shopping thing. So if a man or a woman wants to date and thinking about marriage or thinking about relationship, if you know what you're looking for, I actually would think to build a better world where after half an hour or 30 seconds of sitting with somebody or seeing somebody in the bar side in a club, you will say, no, not the person I want to talk to. We can do that, but how can we do that is what we start to think. You will see that.
Of course, same with a man, yeah.
Leah, now I want to ask you this question, but I would also like to hear Mba's opinion on it. Is staying after cheating a sign of strength or weakness?
I will go back to the things I said. If I have kids, I will counter that in. I want to give it a holistic approach rather than just my feelings. Of course, the man have hurt me, but I'm gonna look at my kids. I'm gonna look at my future, okay? I'm gonna look at the time I'm going to waste to try and find another man who will also bring me back to the same situation. So for me, if somebody cheats and I decide to stay, it's a sign of strength.
I think you're looking at everything from a deficit perspective, though, because you're saying, I'm staying because of my kids, but those kids are looking at an unhealthy relationship or family dynamics about you, the time you're going to waste, because you're seeing it as wasting time, but really it's not wasting time, it's finding yourself and valuing yourself. This is who I am. I think I'm an important person and no one should ever treat me that way, but if you don't see it that way, then yes, that would be...
I'm very important. When you look at also life, just normal life situation whereby we try to avoid a lot of shenanigans in the community, it's not because you are weak. Jennifer could have done something wrong to me. I want to confront Jennifer. But I'm going to show my strength by not confronting her because of my peace. That's what I mean. And as women, we should all learn to protect our children. If it is not violence, if my man is not abusing me, something that kids can see, as women we should learn to protect our kids from seeing all that. If my man cheats, do I have to tell my children? How will they know if I don't tell them?
Conversations in the house. Kids are brilliant.
They are brilliant, yes, but I don't think like if my man cheats, my kids deserve to know it. Okay? So yeah, so I'll try to protect my children from that. But if it is domestic violence, like physical violence, abuse, they will definitely see that. That's when I will pack my bag and leave. But my man going out and sleeping with another woman, my kids don't deserve to know it. The dad will come in the evening, I will cook for him dinner, we will eat.
I respect you, I say that again. Right. I want to be that way.
All right. Yes, it can be strength. It can be weakness. Depending the situation and circumstances. While I say that, cheating comes with a lot of things behind them. It could be anything. So while we use cheating as an example of something that can lead to separation and the strength that you remain, I believe that cheating comes with abuses, all the abuses, all of them, emotional, psychological, name it, financial. We haven't even talked about financial. Financial is the biggest problem. All these things come together is what institute or lead to heart being away from that person, even though you're still there. If my partner cheats, what is my response? my response will be a conversation first. I can't even know what to tell you now. But that conversation will bring a lot of things, and that conversation will determine my response, what I would do. But another thing I want to touch as well is, I watched a movie where a woman already married, and the husband died, and she was left with 2 kids who are now adult as in 23 or 24 and 18. And she decided to remarry about 8 years ago. And the remarriage just only realized recently that the new husband slept with her 13-year-old daughter. And family were and professionals were in trying to encourage the woman to know this is a no, and she is sounding like African woman, vulnerable, wounded woman who is all these people will say, I believe this and that. And she also considered, actually by the way, in the relationship there is 2 newborn babies who are 4 and 2 in the relationship. She also considered these kids. But this is my take on the movie. I would encourage that woman to leave that relationship, because it's more dangerous to their kids than saving them. That is good for them. So that is where it's strength and weakness, depending on the situation of things that has happened. How can I know you as a daughter? How can I know that my stepmom slept with me and I still see him every day, and I still see him and my mother? How do I even look at my mother? So you see, it depends. But what I would say to any woman who is listening to this, if your husband cheated on you, and looking at the whole nitty-gritty of the whole thing means that you've been abused, and in many ways, financially, all these things that can make you powerless not to make a decision, go and seek support. You might need a support, or you might need to get out of that relationship, or you might need to fix that relationship.
We will definitely continue with this conversation in another episode. Thank you so much for coming, and we really do appreciate your time, and thank you so much for teaching us. We're getting to know new things from you. But there's one thing we always ask our guests, right? What is it that brings you peace?
For me, what brings me peace is letting go. Just let go. I've learned to forgive. And my advice to the viewers who have not been married before, or you've been married, I've been divorced once, and if I could find somebody to advise me what I'm gonna tell you now 15 years ago, I would be very appreciative. If you have a man, there's no abuse in that relationship. And today we are talking about cheating. If your man cheats on you and you are here packing your bag, you want to leave your man, my friend, stay in that marriage. Because if you leave your house, you will come out, you will meet Jennifer's husband, ex-husband, Ethel, maybe ex-boyfriend. You will meet all our exes out here. You will get married to them, and the circle will continue. If the man is not beating you, no emotional abuse. Of course, if he cheated on you, you're gonna solve this. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If he cheated on you, you will be emotionally, psychologically abused. But know how to fix when you're emotionally abused. I've learned to read books. I've learned to let go. That's how I fix myself. If you come in my house 2 a.m. because you went out cheating, I've made peace with that. So find how to make peace with yourself and with your man. Do not leave your marriage because the man cheated on you. That's the same advice if I was given 15 years ago. I would have been very far.
Yeah, no, very, very, very brave. What makes me happy? That's the question.
Yes.
What gives me peace? What gives me peace is relationship, a good one. My children, my family, my friends, especially my wife. It gives me peace to know that people are happy because of me. And yes, and forgiveness comes in there, of course. Tolerance and understanding. Can be to an extent of saying his weakness as well. I can understand a little bit more, a little bit too much. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for watching Tranquil Dialogue. See you next time.
Yes, thank you. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.
That was you.